Good evening, children. Welcome to the online class. Today we are going to learn supplementary section, that is 8th standard, first language, 17th lesson, King Sindbad and his falcon. This story is taken from, this is an extract from Arabian Nights. Now we'll go through the first para. Once there was a king named Sindbad. The king was pleasure loving and in particular very fond of racing and hunting. The king had brought up a falcon as his pet. Wherever the king went, the bird went with him. Even at night, the falcon stayed with him on his fist. The king had a golden cup tied around her neck to provide her drink during hunting. So the first para is telling there was a king named Sindbad, and he was a pleasure loving king. That means he had great interest in sports like racing and hunting. He had brought up a falcon as his pet. So wherever he went, the falcon used to follow him. At night time, the falcon stayed with him on his fist. The king tied one golden cup around her neck to provide water for the bird, falcon, during hunting. Second para. One day, when the king was sitting in his palace in a leisurely mood, the falcon said to the king, "O great king, now the time is suitable for hunting." The king liked her suggestion. He ordered his subordinates to make the necessary arrangements for the hunt. The king set out hunting with a falcon on his fist. The king and his men continued to travel till they reached a valley. His men formed a circular shroud of a net intended for the victim. Soon a gazelle was trapped within the net. The excited king cried, "Beware! Whoever allows the gazelle to escape from here will be punished to death." The net was lifted by the king's hunting troop from all the sides. Gradually, they began narrowing the net circle to trap the gazelle. She too moved towards the king and stood on her hind legs. She then lifted her forelegs up to her breast, suddenly jumped above the head of the king, and escaped out of the maze, thus thwarting the whole effort. The king turned towards his men. He noticed them murmuring and pointing towards him. The king asked his wazir, "Oh wazir, do my men want to say something?" So here the second part I was telling, one day then the king's mood was very good. He was in a leisurely mood. So the falcon also told, "Today it's suitable for hunting." And the king, no, he felt very happy. He also accepted and he told his subordinates to get ready for the hunting. And he set out for a hunting with the falcon on his fist. And they continued, they traveled till they reached a valley. Valley means the place in between the two mountains. And his men, they spread a shroud, that is a net, circular shroud, to catch any animal that comes on that way. Soon a gazelle was trapped within the net. And the king cried, "Oh, be careful. Then don't, whoever no, allows the gazelle to escape, then I will punish you to death. So be careful." The net was lifted by the king's hunting troop, slowly from all the sides, no, they're lifting and then coming to the center. So how was it? Gazelle sitting. Gazelle was sitting with this hind leg, then sitting on her hind legs and then lifting her forelegs upon her breast. And when the people came nearer to her center, what she did, she suddenly jumped above and then she escaped out of the maze. That is, from that area, then she disappeared into the forest. Thus, thwarting the whole effort. Thus, she spoiled the whole effort, their effort to catch the gazelle. The king turned towards his men. He noticed that his men were murmuring then something and pointed towards him. So the king asked immediately his minister, Wazir, do my men want to talk with me? Then want to say something? Then third para, the Wazir replied, Your Majesty, they are saying that you have warned that you will kill the person who lets the gazelle escape. And fourth para, the king replied, I vow to bring her back and will not return till I accomplish it. Saying this, the king galloped on his horse, and the route that the gazelle had fled. The falcon, the king's hunting mate, she flew high up and traced the fleeing gazelle. Fleeing means that is a running gazelle. She at once swooped down and blinded the gazelle with her talons. The king immediately stuck his mace at the blinded gazelle and ended the matter forever. He then cut the gazelle's throat, removed its skin from the body, and hung the spoils on the saddle. So what happened? The king, that is, replied, then I will go and find out. I will not come back without accomplishing, without finishing my work. So that is catching the gazelle. And saying this, he galloped on his horse. Then who followed? The falcon also followed. And it could find out the gazelle. And it immediately flew down and blinded the gazelle's eyes with her talons. So the gazelle could not go further. So the king, what he did, he took his mace and struck it with it and finished the matter. That is killed the gazelle. Then he cut the throat and removed its skin from the body and hung the remains, that is spoils, on the saddle. So that like this, the gazelle life was over. And the fifth one, it was midday and the place where they were wandering was devoid of any water source. The king and his horse were thirsty. The king went further in search of water. Finally, they reached a place where water was seen dripping through the leaves of a tree. The king was wearing a skin gauntlet to protect him from any poison. As his falcon was very thirsty, the king took out the cup from her neck and filled it with a dripping liquid. He then placed the cup in front of the falcon, but surprisingly enough, the falcon overturned the cup instead of drinking it. So fifth para is telling it was midday, so they felt very thirsty. That is himself and a horse. There is no water body nearby, and finally they walked and then reached one place where water was dripping from the tree, from the leaves, through the leaves of a tree. And the king was very happy. Then he took out the that is cup from the falcon and he filled that cup with the dripping liquid. Then he placed that cup in front of the falcon. Then, but what the falcon did, the falcon overturned the cup instead of drinking. Sixth para is telling, the king picked up the cup, filled it again and placed it in front of the falcon, but the falcon upset it again with her talons. The king was annoyed at the falcon's strange behavior. Next time, he filled the cup with the dripping liquid and place it in front of his horse. However, unknowingly enough, the falcon hastily upset it again. The king became furious. He shouted at the falcon in anger, "You unlucky and foolish thing! You are not willing to slack your thirst, nor are you allowing the horse to drink it." So, sixth parasailing, the king now picked up the cup and then again he filled it with the dripping liquid. But again, the falcon did the same thing, that is, turned it upside down. And the king was annoyed. So, what he did, again, he filled the third time with the dripping liquid and gave it to the horse because both are very thirsty. But even then, the falcon again, it hastily it came and then it turned it upside down. And so there was nothing for the horse to quench his thirst. So the king got angry. "You are unlucky and then you are foolish also. So that's why you don't satisfy your thirst by drinking that liquid, but and you never allow that horse also to drink." Then he got angry. Seventh parasailing, in his fury, the king took out his sword and chopped off the wings of the falcon. The falcon cried in pain. She then indicated the king to look up by raising her head. The king's eyes followed the falcon, and he saw a poisonous viper lying up above the tree. The liquid which he mistook as water was drops of the snake's poison. The king was very remorseful for cutting off the wings of his loyal and beloved falcon. He rode on his horse and returned to his camp along with the dead gazelle. The falcon was still sitting on his fist. As soon as the king reached the camp and sat comfortably, the falcon, which was bearing the pain till then, suddenly gasped and succumbed to death. So, seventh para is telling the king then got angry because three times he gave the twice he did not drink and third time he did not allow the horse to drink. So that liquid. So what he did, he took out his sword and chopped off the wings of the falcon. Then falcon with great pain it is cried. But what it showed, that is it indicated the king to look up. Then when he saw a snake viper sitting on the branch of a tree and then that was the drops of liquid was nothing but a snake's poison. Then the king was very sad. He felt very sorry for his action, and then he returned to his camp with the dead gazelle, and even the falcon was also sitting on his fist only. When he reached the camp, what happened? The falcon suddenly gasped and succumbed to death. Now the repentant king cried aloud to lose his faithful companion who had saved his life. So the king also felt very sorry for killing it what? For killing the his loyal friend, that is a falcon. And so children, from this what we learn moral is, if someone does something nice for you, you should accept it and you maybe you give something in return, but don't kill them. And the same thing that moral, the same moral you have learned in the second lesson also, that is the boy who sold wisdom. What message he is giving to the king? Think deeply before you do anything. So this is the children. You will learn this moral and be patient before you do anything. Thank you, dear. Bye.